Why are you so dramatic, Orby? You always play a tune when I'm about to die. What's your side?
MotorSlice. It's a game about food parkour, cute girls, and well, slices motors. You play as Slicer P, sent out on a mission to eliminate all the machines in a gigantic megastructure, led by Gabriel fucking ULTRAKILL.
Proceed with extreme caution, and remember, destroy every machine
Until the comms die, that is.
G, what's your status?
And now you're stuck with this goofball, Orby, for the rest of the game. So arm yourself with the coolest weapon ever created by a man, and head out to kick ass. And die. A lot. So, remember when I said you play as P? Well, truth be told, I straight up lied to you, as you actually play as Orby, which is an incredibly creative way to implement an interactive in-game camera that can act as a flashlight, get damaged, and covered in dust particles floating around as P springs across the sand. MotorSlice is a cinematic game, with lots of striking views, a pleasant art style, and lots of cool poses P can hit. The way enemies get split in half right as you slice them, and spurt oil everywhere, also adds to the immersion. Do not let the visuals deceive you though. The combat in this game is as simple as can get. You only really have one attack button, so it boils down to dodging enemies, finding opportunities to attack, and parrying. And speaking about parrying, MotorSlice pulls it off better than even MGR and ULTRAKILL. Why? Because it can deflect literally anything. Melee? Check. Saw blades? Check. Stage hazards? Check. Floor? Check. Massive kilometer-long cranes? Check. The only thing outside your parry spectrum is gravity. And well, who fucking cares if you can defy its laws anyway? Why do I compare this game to Rising if the combat is not the focus then? Well, besides the cinematic nature, curveless protagonist, and the marvelous products of over-engineering, including an actual Metal Gear, the game's parkour mechanics feel really similar to Metal Gear's sword action. Let me explain. Right from the start, you're basically given all the skills you'll need to beat the game. And the way you get better is not really by upgrading these skills, but by learning the intentional and not so intentional mechanics until you yourself start directing the flow of the game. Both MotorSlice and Rising have some bugs that reimagine how you approach challenges. In Metal Gear, you exploit enemy vision, spawn mechanics, blade cancels, dodge cancels, and more to lock enemies right where you want them, in the middle of your blender. In MotorSlice, given enough practice, gravity itself becomes a mere suggestion as you learn more ways to make use of P's movesets and game physics. Here, let me show you an example. This is an orb drone. One of many scattered across this huge interconnected structure. They act as the game's collectibles, with the added rule that you are required to bring them to the right place without dying. And frankly, some of them are placed in such a way that makes them barely reachable in the first place. When I started the playthrough, I spent near 30 minutes trying to get this one. Now, I can use an exploit that lets me climb up a straight wall. How does it work though? Well, MotorSlice has some pretty lenient jump timings. So lenient, in fact, you can jump mid-air. This is called coyote time, and lets you jump a few frames after walking off a surface, or right out of an air attack. The coyote time renews as soon as P makes contact with a flat surface, so I can cancel my wall run with an attack and jump right out of it back into another wall run. Now, getting to the drone is a trivial task, but the way back is not so simple. Normally, you cannot change sides when approaching a corner, but by using the coyote time, After P lets go of the wall, you can attack to change the direction you're moving, and wall run again. There are, of course, more techniques to be used and be discovered, but I do not feel the need to talk about them in this video. The game clearly had its focus on platforming and gameplay, rather than a story. You may find some more here and there, but most of the time will be spent exploring the megastructure. The game has a chapter select, where you can go back to the previous checkpoints and see if you missed anything, or if you want to try speedrunning the game. I myself have probably skipped some sections while trying to get orb gems that were supposed to be out of reach, and I found both successful and unsuccessful attempts of that quite fun. So, is the game really that good? I mean, it does have questionable moments, like the awkward controls that decides where you want to go for you at times, but that got a lot better with patches. As for the rest of the game, if you don't mind the fan service here and there, and accept the optional challenges MotorSlice presents, it should be an enjoyable experience. And that about wraps up this video. And, huh? When is Stray Mode Act 2?